Oh man, I really hope that the opening and ending credit sequences and the songs do not change anytime soon. They are really cool, and I've already seen other anime where they've changed the credit sequences to like recycle footage and crappier songs. Oh please, Asterisk War, do not change those credit sequences. Unless you've got something better up your sleeve, that is. So in Asterisk War episode 7, Kirin and Ayato are in some kind of underground lair where Ayato fights a big dragon thing. Kirin and Ayato develop a bond, and afterwards Kirin leaves her uncle to be with Ayato. Now the first fight between Ayato and the dragon thing was pretty quick stuff. Bigger isn't always better, kids, but the real point of Ayato and Kirin being together in that lair wasn't to show off some badassery, but to form a bond between those two through talking with each other whilst they're both in their fucking underwear. Does a bond actually get made? Not really. They talk about why they're in Asterisk and fighting, but it's all stuff that we already know. There's no real evidence of their personalities matching, like Kirin and Ayato don't bounce any dialogue off each other in a charismatic way or anything like that. They just talk about themselves and blush around each other. So deep and meaningful. So then Kirin and Ayato get rescued by an emergency service that nobody called for, and then comes the best scene in the episode. Kirin tells her uncle who the real fucking boss is. She overpowers him mentally and even overpowers him physically by catching his punching fist. Holy shit, Kirin should have gone badass mode on her uncle in the first place, and then she could make demands for her father's situation and not take any shit and call the fucking shots. And Kirin takes the first steps as a strong, independent woman by fighting Ayato. And wow, Ayato won by literally going all out with multiple weapons and fight moves. Jeez, so does that mean Ayato is the number one now? So finally, we get some bullshit relationship development where Ayato and Kirin begin calling each other by their first names, which is fine, as I imagine that's a pretty meaningful thing to do in their situation, but I don't see what the point of doing all that is right now. Kirin and Ayato don't really have that strong of a bond yet, and I feel that they really should be calling each other by their first names later on when they have actually built up a real and believable relationship. It's too soon for them to be calling each other by their first names, and oh my gosh, there is a mecha suit! There is a badass mecha suit in Asterisk War. Holy shit. So yeah, this episode was a lot more interesting than the last episode, and the action here was a lot more exciting, and Kirin leaving her uncle was just badass. And I am totally looking forward to seeing how that mecha suit will fit into the rest of the series, and how Kirin and Saya will fare as a father-saving duo.